Purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to set up a canvas tent with an internal frame. I'll give you guys an update on the channel and about what's going to be happening here shortly in the next video. But like I said, today is just to set up this canvas tent to show you guys how it's done. Now we are running two cameras. We have a time lapse that's over here on a different tripod, and we have my camera, which I'm just going to run in live time. So this will probably be a 30 or 40 minute video. I hope you guys can stick around till the end. Make sure you do click that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and do share. And I hope you guys enjoy this winter camp season. Now guys, these poles here, they have tape on them, which makes it a lot easier to determine which poles are for which sections of the internal frame. The red poles are for the top of the frame, and the green poles are for the side of the frame. So what we're going to do here now is basically just lay this out so we know what the pattern is going to look like, and it makes things a lot easier and a lot more organized.
Alright, I'm just taking them all out right now.
This side.
That's it for the poles from here.
One, two, three. Okay, these poles over here. That's all the caps for the bottom.
You need them?
Yeah, we're gonna need those too. The next thing we want to do is we want to use all of our connection points, all of our angle joiners. And we want to, again, lay these out. This will make a whole lot more sense once you see the tent when it starts to, when the tent frame starts to go together. But again, it's laying everything out like a big jigsaw, and just a big jigsaw puzzle, and just kind of knowing where all of the parts go. Stack those over there for now. We'll just put the corners on each corner just to lay out the frame. No. Which one is that one? Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry, that goes over there. My bad. So this is going to go over on your side. And this one can go over here. This one's over here. So just to let you guys see, the 4 corners, you can tell which ones are the corners. They have a butt end on them. And then the other 4 angled connection piece is the center join. So I guess what we can do is we'll start with the back corner over here because we need to adjust and move accordingly.
Okay.
So let's start with this back corner here. Okay. This one here. Hold that one for me. You just want to turn the face this way so your back isn't with the camera. Perfect. And move to the next one. There we go.
There's my center piece right there.
Maybe you can grab one of those. So you guys kind of get the idea how this goes together.
It's actually quite fun, actually. It's all about balance and just teamwork.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold this one here. So that's essentially the first step you want to take is, like I say, laying everything out and just assembling. Like I mentioned, the green tabs, everything green is going along the walls of the tent. Anything that's red is supporting the roof of the tent, and keeps it nice and easy. Now this is ideally a 3-person job, but Vivian and I have been doing this for many years, so we make it work with 2 people. And I'm going to show you a trick how to do that as well. The other thing I'd like to say is that it's much easier doing this when it's minus 6 degrees Celsius outside than minus 30 degrees. So much easier.
Oh, so much easier.
So the next piece, which is kind of tricky, is we need to drape the tent over the frame and stand the frame up. So what we're going to do is we're going to elevate one side first, then drape the frame, and I'll show you guys how that's done. So I'm going to, if you just want to stand there, remember, just kind of pick. Just be careful there, because one of the poles just came out. Top. Like I say, this should be ideally a 3-person job here, but we can make it work with 2. You just need to stay still? Yeah. Okay. Okay. The ground is higher than the other part. Okay, let it go. Okay, so the ground is a little bit uneven here, so that's why we need to constantly adjust, but that is part of the process. Now you want to make sure that all of your joins and all of your butt ends are connected nice and tight, because the next part of draping the canvas tent over is going to put a lot of lateral movement on the frame, so you don't want your poles to pop out. So this is what the canvas tent will come in. It's just a big canvas duffel sack. You guys always ask me what size the tent is. It's a 12 by 14 by 5. Now the trick is, what we're going to do here, I'm going to check to make sure the camera can actually see what we're going to do. Yep, should work perfectly actually. So the trick here is to determine which side is the front of the tent, which side is the back of the tent. And every year we do this and we always kind of laugh at the moment which side we pick. Most years I'm wrong.
Ooh, found it. This is the front side.
Okay,
Sweet.
perfect. I was just about to say, most years I'm wrong. Most years Vivian is correct. Go figure. Okay. Okay, so the front of the tent is here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to need to make sure that the front of the tent is here. And we're going to have to roll this all the way down. Okay. So. Lay this right here. I'm going to walk back with the tent. Whoops. Didn't mean to walk on our tent. Okay. So now you guys see that we have the tent laid on its side. So we're holding the base of the tent. We're going to walk over. So you want to go a little bit at a time. Bring it halfway up, then adjust. Bring it the rest of the way over and adjust as you go. Oh, and the other thing you want to do is unzip the front of the tent.
I was going to mention that.
Okay. So it's best, so the tent is in 3 pieces or in 4 pieces. The base and the side, you want to grab 2 at the same time. Okay. And we're going to reach back with the other hand, because if we drag the tent, it's going to undo these poles. Grab the top. Okay, just pause there. I'm going to walk in and start pulling it up, okay? Okay, we need more tent. We need more tent up on the frame. Okay. Okay, more tent up on the frame. Okay, now for the next third, we got to pull it all the way over, and we want to make sure that the peak So like I mentioned, there's going to be 3 pieces to the tent. You have 3 folds, 1, 2, 3. And essentially you want to drag everything up. So your first fold is on the left-hand side of the tent. Then make sure that your second fold is on the peak of the tent. And everything at that point then should easily fall over. Now I'll move the tripod over to give you guys a look from the other side, how that should look. So the trick now is to pick the tent up from the other side. And then slide the legs in from the bottom. Need my gloves for this one.
Freezing.
Yep. If you want to get on that end, I'll get on this end. Pick it up. Just gonna make sure that the tent's all going up. Is that corner the other corner? Okay. So we'll pick up this second one here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I want to show you what we've done on the inside before we stake the tent down. So if you notice on the inside of these tents here, mine specifically has a inner skirt. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that these things are basically leveled out. You want to overlap them to make sure that everything is nice and tight. Keeps everything nice and square. You want to check your 4 corners to make sure that your butt ends here of your brackets are nice and square within that corner. When you stake down the 4 corners, it's very important to do a quick visual to make sure your tent is square, because you'll have a hard time zippering your tent or squaring your tent once it's been staked in. So basically you want to walk by and make sure everything here is nice and tight. Looks pretty good. We did have one low point over here, so we just took a little shimmed off the corner of the tent. But other than that, it looks pretty good inside of here. The floor is pretty square, pretty level. And I think we've done a pretty good job here today. I won't secure these to the ridge poles until after the tent is pegged and the tent is squared. So let's go outside. I'll show you how that's done. First thing you want to do is make sure that your zipper closes. I've done this many times and have not checked my zipper. And once the tent was set, I had to take everything back out to re-square the tent. So make sure your zipper closes. Now I have some heavy duty tent pegs here. What I'm going to do is start at the 4 corners of the tent. Kind of think of it as in changing a tire. You want to go diagonal on the tire when you're torquing the bolts down. Same thing when you're setting your tent pegs. So we'll go on the other corner. Looks good. Looks good. Check this corner. And one final peg in the other corner. Now before I do anything else, I want to make sure that the zipper will still open and close freely. Perfect. Now next I want to do my front flap. I don't plan on opening this at all for the winter months anyways. If it was a summertime, you may want to consider keeping this one undone if you want to open up your tent. But we will be running the stovepipe, so this will be secured. Make sure the zipper closes again. That's great. Now I only have another 3 steaks left. I must have left the other ones at home and didn't realize. I'll just put one in the middle here for now. Same on the other side. And I'll put one on the back, and when I get the rest of my steaks, I'll bring them back and fill in the other loop. One right in the middle right here. Perfect. Okay, so on to the wood stove. This here is a airtight wood stove by a company called GW Metalworks. They're based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, here in Canada. I'm not sponsored by this company, but I have been using their wood stoves for 12 or 13 years now, and I find that they're fantastic for the application up here in the Northwest Territories. I want to give you guys a little bit of a pro tip here to make your lives a bit easier. When you're installing these legs, you want to make sure that you push the screw from the inside of the wood stove out, then torque your bolt down. If you do it the other way, it's very difficult to do. After we finished installing the legs, we had moved in the reflective wall and the reflective floor for the wood stove. And again, this is all stuff I just salvaged from the dump. We did acknowledge this year we want to change this out because we've had it for like 10 years now. So we will build a new reflective wall and a new floor. So make sure you click subscribe to come back and check out that video. So yeah, this stove is much larger than previous years. So I want to make sure now, because I do have a taller stove, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, because I haven't measured this out, that my stovepipe will fit. If not, it's going to be a cold evening here. So let's check it out. So I have 3 pieces of stovepipe here that I save every year in this configuration. It's much easier to put together, and I don't like breaking them down any smaller than this. So see which one's gonna fit. It's gonna be one or the other. I suspect it's gonna be this one here. Fingers crossed. It's too low.
Oh.
So what that means is, hopefully this one's gonna be just the right size and not too tall. Because if not, we're gonna have to do some modifications here today. And it's way too tall. Yikes, huh?
Oy.
So, try this one here again. So the other option is I can do is actually take some of my splitting or some of my splits over here, and we can shim up the pallet here. So we're going to need about 4 inches for sure. So yeah, let's grab some. We actually have another pallet here too that I have my wood on.
I think that would actually work.
Okay, so let's start with moving the pallet out first. This is unedited, real time. Real challenges of doing this stuff up here in the north. So we're quite a ways away from home right now, and we're very limited to what we can bring over because, as you guys can tell, there's not enough snow on the ground here for the snow machine, and we're over on the ATV today, and we're very limited to what we can pull on the ATV. So hopefully I can rig up something from camp here to be able to make this work. Maybe we can just pause the video for now and then come back when I'm moving the pallet over.
Okay.
Okay. see if this one works. Huh, stove is over here. Feel a little bit more confident with this one. Look at that. Absolutely made for it.
Oh my goodness.
Check that out. You guys look out here on the other side.
Wow.
Perfectly lined up. That could not be any better. Excellent. So yeah, guys, in those situations, just look around, see what you have, and just make it work, man. That's all it is. That's all of this is all about, is making things work, being reliant upon yourself. Okay, so now that we have the stovepipe aligned, we want to set up a tripod on the outside. So I'll show you guys how I do that. Most people prefer the roof top stovepipe ring because it's easy to go straight up through. If you do have a setup such as this, when you come out with a 90-degree elbow, the question is always, how do you support your stovepipe? And what I've come up with was something very simple. I'll share with you guys here today. And essentially what this is here, it is a satellite tripod. And I had a friend of mine who had given me this a few years ago, and I wasn't sure what I was going to use it for. And I had it in my storage, and one day I'm like, you know what? I can probably use this as a stovepipe support tripod. Have some galvanized steel. And I just use this here. And that's it. And I'll show you how I attach the stovepipe to this pole to keep everything squared up. All right, guys, so one little piece I just forgot to mention to you guys, Vivian just reminded me of, is that if you have a look in there, it's a brand new wood stove. And it's just a metal on the bottom. So what I typically do is add something to the bottom of it, whether it's crushed stone or kitty litter or sand. We actually went over to the south side of the island today and picked some sand up off the beach. So we're just going to put some in here now. What you want to keep in mind is, if you want to stand on this side here and look in on an angle, the front air dampener right here is about 1.5 inches off the base. So you don't want to go above that because you're going to cut off or choke out your air dampener in the front. By putting something down on the bottom, you'll extend the life of your stove for quite a while, actually. Again, like I say, we get about 3 years, potentially 4, every time I start to notice the side of the stove glowing hot. That's usually when I decide to change it out. I don't want to be out here on a night of -40 and have my stove burn through. So I keep the stove nice and fresh. And I also have this other stove here, which I'm going to keep here as well, just as a backup in case something does happen. Probably get another scoop in there. That's perfect. So I'm feeling it's about 1 inch of sand. Okay, I'll bring this back in. Okay. So what I'll do is come out this way. The only problem with this is going to be so this piece normally was on the wood stove because my other stove was smaller. So now that I've swapped them around, this piece here would have been the piece that would come through the tent. So if I install this piece here, it's going to come out way too far. So I'm going to actually have to take out this piece here. That's what I'm going to have to do. So nice and easy. Cold metal on the hands. Ooh, she's stuck in there good. All right, guys, so it took us a little bit of fooling around to remove the stovepipe. I kind of had to peel back the corner here to separate the stovepipe. I didn't want to bend that elbow, considering we didn't have any more stovepipe over here at the winter campsite. And I did want to install the stove tonight. So it's pretty dark here now, and I do apologize that we are finishing the video off here with a headlamp for light. We didn't expect for it to take this long here this afternoon or this evening. But yeah, so as this tripod set up here, you guys can see the idea with it is that we just keep that galvanized pole vertical, and we have a couple of these brackets here. Forget what they're called, but basically just a ratchet O-strap, and just keep your stovepipe nice and aligned here. So that's it, really nice and simple, very easy to set up. Other than a few hiccups there, but that is to be expected when you do change out your stove. So measurements are key prior to setting up. Keep that in mind to make your lives a little bit easier, especially if you're out in the bush doing this. And that's it, guys. So I do appreciate you guys checking out this long video. If you guys did stick around till the end, do comment to let me know down in the comment section. And any questions that you guys have about this, please put it in the comment section down below, and we will do a Q&A and answer as many questions as we can for you. So like I say, this is going to be an early start to winter camp season for us this year. This is the first video we'll be posting on how to set up a canvas tent with a wood stove. And make sure you do click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Come back. We have a lot of stuff planned for this season, and we want to take you guys along. So other than that, stay safe. We'll catch you guys in the next one. And I guess that's it. Time for us to enjoy. Peace.